So for 20 years, I chased pretty much every online business model you can think of. Etsy when it first came out, Amazon FBA, Pinterest, drop shipping, eBay, retail arbitrage, you name it. And at the same time, kind of simultaneously, my husband and I had started and scaled five successful brick and mortar businesses. But no matter what I tried online, I found myself in this cycle of chasing fast results, wanting overnight success, technically wanting success in 2 weeks. I thought that was reasonable. And quitting when it didn't happen within those 2 weeks. Now, during those 20 years, I never quit trying to start an online business. Even though we had successful brick and mortar businesses, I knew that those were still tying my time to money. And I just knew that an online business was where I wanted to be. And then in June 2023, I hit my breaking point, right? We had made some bad business decisions. We racked up 6 figures in high interest credit card debt and had no way to pay it down. None. This was the moment. I remember it so vividly. I was searching and searching and searching for another online business to start. It was almost midnight. And I just decided this was not going to be my story again. I was not going to start and stop again. I was going to get uncomfortable and do all of the things that I didn't want to do before because I wanted the money to come quick and easy. So I made a commitment to myself that no matter how long it took, no matter how uncomfortable I had to get, I was going to figure this out. And I was going to stop over consuming, taking in all the education, stop hiding behind the excuse of perfectionism, and implement and take action. And I almost did it subconsciously. I didn't know a lot about the power of mindset work or healing subconscious shadows. I just came with such a drive to change my current circumstances that I didn't matter what happened. No matter the insecurities that I had, I was going to make it work because this was not my story. Being 43 years old, 6 figures in debt, having to say no, basing every decision on what was in our bank account was not my story. And I started my online business. And this is why I say implementation over perfection every day, because I just started. I didn't get stuck in what I normally do of over consuming education, trying to become an expert, having the feeling of I have to know everything. Yes, I still felt all of those fears, but this time I moved through them and I just started. And in 90 days, this was a very messy 90 days. I was hustling. I had no idea what I was doing. I was throwing spaghetti at the wall. I made 10K in 90 days. And I was thrilled because I proved to myself that I can move through those fears and those feelings and be successful. But I was terrified because I had no idea where that money came from or how it came or how to repeat the process. And I found myself having a roller coaster of emotions completely dependent on my roller coaster income. So if I made a sale one day, I would spend the entire rest of the day calculating every scenario. How many more sales did I need to make to hit this goal at the end of the month? Okay, well, I didn't make any more sales today, so how many more sales do I have to make the next day or the next week or the next 3 weeks? It was completely consuming my thoughts. I hustled up to 60 hours a week creating, launching, when thinking that I wanted more money, when all I really wanted was to stabilize my income and have predictable income. Now, I was able to start at zero and scale all the way up to 100K a month. If you can believe that. Like, it's absolutely insane when I think of it now to start at zero and just out of pure drive and hustle scale to that high. Now, mind you, I was going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to come up with new offers, to create new launch sequences. And it was working. It was working. From the outside, it looked great. It looked like, wow, like you scaled so fast. And how did you do it? And I made no pretense about how hard I was working. To my clients inside of my memberships, I let them know how hard I was working. And it wasn't until my husband sat me down and said, you have to stop. This is killing you. I was sacrificing my health, my friends, my family, my relationships, because I was so determined to make money to pay off debt. And at that point, I knew he was right. So I shut it down. I had launched a program, and I decided that when that 90 days were over, that 90-day program was over, I was shutting everything down. So I spent the next 90 days reverse engineering not what I wanted my business to look like, but what I wanted my life to look like. So what kind of business model would give me the life I wanted? And the life I wanted was to make enough money to pay off a lot of debt and to have a predictable income so that I could plan, so that I wouldn't reset at zero every month, so that I could work part-time around 20, 25 hours a week and enjoy my 40s, because I am not a spring chicken. I need to start like enjoying my time. And I decided that every offer, every program I had did not fit the life that I wanted. So I threw away every single offer that made me money, and I started all over. I built a scalable revenue model that didn't rely on constant launching, on constant hype, on constant creating FOMO in my audience. And was able to create a predictable, sustainable income. Now, that didn't happen by chance. I had to eliminate all of these different things that I was being shown were the way to make money. So I knew that I didn't want that monthly revenue, that predictable monthly recurring revenue, to come from a low ticket membership that required hundreds of people to stay afloat, because to me, that's the same thing as high volume. I was still going to have to be churning and burning and trying to get all of these people into my membership. I also knew that a low ticket membership wasn't for me, because I wanted to have a greater impact on my clients. And it's impossible to have a low ticket membership filled with hundreds of people and be able to get impactful results. I strongly believe that courses don't create results. Support creates results. So I wanted high impact, high value offers, masterminds, but not filled to the brim, that filled easily. I wanted a light business with people who wanted to work with me, who wanted results, who were ready to put in the work, that allowed me to work 20-hour weeks. And I wanted it to be client focused, for me to be able to work with people who enjoy starting businesses, because I love starting businesses, who were not in this for just a quick cash injection. And once I decided what I wanted, I built it. I just did it. I decided to do it my way. I did business my way, which is also how I do Instagram, but that's a topic for another time. And once I did that and I realized how many women I saw in this space, I mean, massively successful women, just over 2 years, completely shutter their businesses because they were burnt out and making no excuses for it, saying that they were burnt out, they were done, they were leaving the space. And I'm not talking about ones who jumped in for a quick cash injection. I'm talking about established entrepreneurs who were in the space for years and years and years. And then when I changed my messaging and started focusing on what I did, why I did it, the type of business I was building, I had dream clients coming out of the woodwork who I had never heard from before, sharing how much my messaging and my business model was resonating with them. And so that is why I wanted to start this podcast. Because, yes, of course, the podcast is an amazing way to increase your visibility and increase your impact and increase your income, but it's primarily the impact. I have so much to say and so much to share with entrepreneurs who are stuck in the same cycle, hustling for every sale, resetting at zero every month, wondering if it's always going to feel this hard. And side note, it is always going to feel this hard unless you change the way your business works. And I want everyone to know that you don't have to launch every 2 weeks. You don't need a massive audience. You don't need to show up 24/7. There are ways to run your business that actually fit your life. And yes, you can scale to incredibly high cash months. We're talking 100K, 300K, 500K months without grinding yourself to the ground, without being tethered to Zoom 8 hours a day, without a phone stuck to your face 24/7. And that's what I want everyone to take away from this. So each week, I am going to be bringing you high level strategy, real world execution on creating a revenue model that never resets at zero, on building sustainable offers that don't require extra effort and that scale without requiring more of your time, about simplifying your sales process so your business doesn't run you, and redefining success so that you can reach whatever income goal you have without sacrificing your freedom. I guess you can say that my business model, this podcast, everything, every offer, every program, every container I have is not just about making money. It is about building a business that gives you, it's about building a business that supports the life you want. So I welcome you to this podcast. I hope that you stick around so that we can continue growing together. And I will see you next time.